game, which wasn't that long ago. It was on June 1st. What are we up to? The 16th. So it was just barely over 2 weeks ago. In the closeout game, James Harden scored 34 with 10 rebounds and 10 assists. Did you see that guy last night?
Nah.
What? And obviously in game one, he re-pulled it. And he said he woke up yesterday and said, you know what? I got to go. And to Steve Nash's credit, this is very interesting because this is a tough call. I tweeted in the middle of the game, I would just put Mike James in and forget about it because Mike James could have played better distributing point guard. He could have helped KD more than James did. But what do we know about James and KD? Well, they came up together for the Thunder. They're very close.
Yeah.
So just on intangibles, just like having him out there.
They got a wavelength.
They just do, where they trust each other and they believe in each other, and I think they genuinely love each other. And so Steve Nash, as a former two-time MVP, he knows I got to leave him in there just for the intangibles, just for his presence on the court.
Because that's what he gave you. Skip. He didn't give you anything else.
It was pure presence. He gave you nothing else, to the point where he was overmatched just trying to distribute the ball. How many loopy, careless passes you said? He just get it out of his hands and just loop it up the court. And I'd say, don't do that.
I mean, he got turned the ball over, Skip. He jumped like he was going to shoot it. Then he wanted to pass it, and he came down. He's like, they called him for a travel, and he's like, damn it.
Okay. He did. Yeah, he came down with the travel. That's a good one. It's like, what are you doing? Have you ever played before? It looked like 2 or 3 years he had not played. And don't get me started on Joe Harris, who at one point in his career won the three-point shootout at the All-Star weekend. Last night, he went 2 for 11 and 1 of 7 from 3. And what did we say yesterday? Well, obviously, the role players got to roll, man. If I told you before the game that James Harden would play 46 minutes and go 1 of 10, and I told you that Joe Harris would play 33 minutes and go 2 of 11 and 1 of 7.
Get blown out.
Blown out. You got no hope and no chance. Obviously, out of nowhere, Uncle Jeff came to play. And he always comes to play.
He always.
He just does. He just comes to play. He is fearless. He is so skilled and so experienced and so impervious to playoff pressure. It just doesn't bother him. Did I see 27 coming from him? 7 of 8 threes? No. He saved the day.
If you'd have told me, okay, James Harden is going to be James Harden, and Joe Harris is going to be below Joe Harris, but Uncle Jeff is going to take 11 shots, he's going to make 7 of 8 threes, I would say, Skip, they're going to probably win. Because KD, with that, that's all KD. KD needed one of...
He needed one to go with him.
Blake Griffin played well.
He did. He hit 3 big threes. I'll give you that.
That was a... Skip,
and those two did a good job on
in the third quarter, when they got to 17, and they could have stretched it to 25, maybe even more, it was 3 after 3 from Jeff Green and Blake Griffin that kept them attached.
The day.
And all Kevin Durant says, get me to the fourth quarter within striking distance, and I'll take it from here.
Okay. So now, this is why what happened starting in the middle of the third quarter was so unlikely to me. Kevin Durant had an incredibly rocky first quarter of that game because it was just a replay, a repeat of Game 3 and Game 4, as you pointed out, in Milwaukee. When he was horrendous in those games. He shot 11 of 28 and 9 of 25 against P.J. Tucker, his Texas ex, like Kevin, who's just got his number. And if we could see what happened on the first big play of the game, it's 10-16 left in the first quarter. Kevin drives baseline on PJ, and he's playing football on him. Playing football, and he just loses the ball. Just lost the ball. Didn't that look like a replay of everything we saw on Sunday, right, back in Milwaukee? And I thought, uh-oh, the refs are going to let him play again. Well, they didn't after this, but he just took the ball right away from him.
It seemed to me, Skip, is that early on, KD was playing for calls, and then he said, to hell with it. If you call it, you call it. If you don't, you don't. I'm going.
3 times in the first quarter, they just took the ball away from him, knocked it out of his hands, and usually he plays so strong with the ball in his hands. So the other things that went wrong for Kevin Durant in the first quarter was that he had a foul on Chris Middleton on shooting a 3 that was just you're better than that, Kevin. You know better than that. They had a shot clock violation with 8:25 left in the game, and it was mostly because Kevin held the ball too long because he didn't know what to do with it. He had another turnover on a bad pass at 5:31, and he missed 2 free throws in the first quarter. This is a 90% free throw shooter. He was completely discombobulated in my eye, by P.J. Tucker, who I tweeted this. I thought P.J. was intimidating Kevin Durant in the first quarter. And finally, to his credit, against his nemesis, P.J. Tucker, slowly but surely in the second quarter, he started to say, no, to your point, I'm just going to go up, and I'm going to go up strong, and I'm going to be Kevin bleeping Durant.
Yep.
And he scored 11 in the second quarter. So he went 7 in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter, 11 in the third, and 20 in the fourth. Once we got to the fourth, it was rolling. And to your point, remember, Milwaukee is up 17 in the middle of the third quarter.
Correct.
And yet it felt tenuous to me. It felt flimsy because you could just see what was starting to happen with Kevin Durant.
I saw it on Sunday.
Yep.
They was making threes, and I was like, I understand that you're making threes, but don't forget the advantage that you have is your size, and you can play inside. I saw it coming because what happens, Skip, when you start hitting threes, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, we good. If you go cold, now all of a sudden you got Brook Lopez, Skip. Brook Lopez, 7 foot tall. Ain't no way James Harden and Jeff Green should guard him. But they can guard him when he's out past the three-point line.
Not only is he past the three-point line, he shoots bombs.
Yes.
I mean, he shoots 35-footers. He'll be out there, and he made one on my set.
He pulled up the rear, and he shot one from. I'm like, bruh. But Skip, Giannis needs to post.
Oh, well, obviously.
And you let KD,
right.
Skip, once he got that rhythm, going into the third quarter, and he saw it was close, you know KD a closer.
He is a closer. Thank you. So what shocked me was that only once in the whole game did Kevin take advantage of his huge height advantage over P.J. Tucker. They posted him one time on the low block, and he took it and just wheeled in the lane and shot a
He doesn't really like
He doesn't like to do it.
No.
But how much taller is it? I think P.J., I might give him 6'5".
Yeah, KD is at least, KD is 6'11 and a half, 7 foot. PJ is what, 6'5"?
Okay.
Give him 6'6". Let's be nice, we give him 6'6".
Okay, so it's like a 6-inch height advantage?
Yes.
Well, he never took advantage of it because when he got rolling, he was rolling from deep, man. He was rolling from the perimeter.
But if you notice, Skip, what he likes to do, KD likes to get to the midnight. He'll pull up on you with a three, but he really likes to get to the mid-range. You saw late in the fourth quarter, every time he was getting to that mid-range, and he messed around and saw like 5 or 6 of them things go in, and I knew when that shot clock, I said, I've seen this before. And I said, y'all better not let KD touch this ball. It was 3. Don't let him get it. I said, uh-oh. When he elevated on Chris Middleton, I said, this ball going in.
Well, the ultimate uh-oh for Milwaukee came with 50 seconds left when they're down to the end of the clock. If we could see
this, 1-point game.
This is the dagger. This is the one.
Skip, I said, don't let him get it.
Don't let him get it. Go up, and he didn't even have his balance. He's falling sideways, and that's the ball game right there to me. Psychologically, this is the dagger.
It's over.
This is the dagger. And Chris Middleton's a very good defender, but he goes about 6'4", 6'5".
Like, ooh, I got it going tonight.
I got it going. Okay, back to best player on the planet. If we could hear, please, what Kevin said after the game about his overall abilities that get underestimated and devalued, I believe. Just let this sink in, please.
Right.
You know, the perception of me is that I can score the basketball well, but, you know, any team that I've played on, I've been asked to do pretty much everything from rebounding to defending to initiating to scoring. I might not be, you know, I might not do it all the time, but I do a little bit of everything out there.
Okay, so this was a tour de force by who I've always believed, or for a long believed, was the best player on the planet. He obviously led them in points last night. He led them with 17 rebounds last night. He led them with 10 assists, and I told you yesterday he needed to get 10 in this game, and he got 10 because he can distribute and pass the basketball. I'm not saying he's a great passer, but he's a very good passer of the basketball. He led them in steals last night with 3, and he led them in blocks with 2 because he is an underrated rim protector. When he decides to, he can defend at literally the highest level because he is a long 7 feet tall.
Well, you know what, Skip? I'm looking at the stat line. He led everybody on both teams in everything. Points, rebounds, assists, steals, block shots. Skip, I understand Kevin Durant because it is the perception that he score, all he does is score the basketball. But KD, no one said that you couldn't do it. It's just you haven't been asked to do it. It's kind of like when someone that you don't see, all these see him do. I don't even know if Jay-Z can drive because all I've seen him was with a driver. I don't know if he got a driver's license. I don't know if he can drive. But when you see somebody